It's not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me.
Matt Gaetz?
What's up, guys? It's boy Benny. The end of the road for Hunter Biden. Today, we shall see. Seconds ago, apparently, the testimony of Hunter Biden wrapped after a number of hours. This was early this morning. Hunter Biden actually walking into the congressional committee room to testify before the Republican Oversight Chairman Comer, Jim Jordan were there, Matt Gaetz, and some of our favorite Marjorie Taylor Greene. For instance, Hunter Biden actually not behaving like a petulant little spoiled brat child, not screeching or preening or yelling at the press or doing any kind of the stupid antics that he's done beforehand. Hunter Biden walking in solemnly, knowing that now apparently it's over, right? He's now going to have to face the music. You will recall that the last time that Hunter Biden entered Congress, he actually sat in on the hearing of his own contempt charges, because of course he refused to sit for a hearing. And then as soon as Marjorie Taylor Greene started asking questions, he pissed his pants, turned-tailed, and ran like a little
Gentlemen, time's expired. Chair recognizes Ms. Green from Georgia for 5 minutes.
Oh, quick.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Excuse me, Hunter. Apparently you're afraid of my words.
Whoa! Oh.
Yeah.
I'd like to reclaim my time, Mr. Chairman.
Burst their bubble.
Real tough guy.
Wow, that's too bad.
Real tough guy. As soon as Marjorie Taylor Greene starts asking you questions, you get up and you sprint, literally flee the room. So Hunter Biden has disgraced, obviously, himself, but Hunter Biden is nothing but a cutout. Matt Gaetz, who wasn't allowed to speak to the press, but couldn't help himself, actually talked to the reporters after the hearing. And Matt Gaetz explained what we all sort of know to be true, which is that Hunter Biden was effectively a bag man, that he was there to collect bags of cash on behalf of the Biden crime enterprise. And that bribery doesn't need to be direct payments to Joe Biden. In fact, that's the stupidest way to bribe somebody. You want to bribe somebody, you bribe their family. And that is in and of itself, on the legal code, bribery. You can bribe an elected official or their family. That Hunter Biden is using the defense that he joined the Ukrainian Energy Board in order to stop Russian aggression. He's there fighting the Russians. All right, check this out. It's too good. Ladies and gentlemen, it's too good. Matt Gaetz dropping bombs.
I'd say that there were a number of interesting moments, but perhaps none more interesting than when Hunter Biden told us that he joined the Burisma board to counter Russian aggression. I hadn't heard that one before. That thank goodness we had Hunter Biden on the Burisma board because that was central to his strategy to stand up to Vladimir Putin. Has he taken the fifth?
So wait a second. So I mean, I just want to couch this really important point. Elena Baturina is a Russian. She gave the Bidens $3.5 million. She's a Putin stooge. She's like the mayor of Moscow's wife. The Bidens were making bags of cash in Russia. The Bidens were making bags of cash with Russia-linked Chinese companies. What a farce that they are doing this to fight Russia. What a bunch of jackals, these people. Such liars. Such liars.
No, he's been responsive to questions.
Has he told you exactly what value he brought to any of these wars, any of these companies? Have you guys asked him that?
Yeah, we've asked those questions, and there is an illusory value. It is a mirage to believe that Hunter Biden was engaged in international business. This was a bribe masquerading as an international business transaction. Nothing more, nothing less.
Do you still feel the impeachment inquiry is heading in a direction where you'll actually be able to vote on articles of impeachment?
Well, here we're asking questions about these corrupt business practices. I'm not really framing that through the lens of next steps. I'm just trying to get facts.
Biden wrote that he joined the board to support Russia in his book. Why don't Republicans do their research? Why haven't you read his book?
I have to say I thought it was a pretty.
You gotta go out.
I thought it was a pretty strange statement. Either perhaps it jumps off the page when he says it in his own words.
Do you think, has he said anything that would specifically implicate the president? Have you seen evidence that the president was involved in those business dealings yet?
I believe that you can actually bribe someone by paying their family members.
So have a listen to this answer, because this is really, really important, because this is what the press are going to do. Where's the direct evidence? Show me all of the checks that say Joe Biden's name on them. And we actually have those checks, but nonetheless. Show me the evidence of the actual bribes. Please do it. And the way that the legal code is written, and we've actually investigated this, the way that the legal code is written is you can, like, bribery of a family member or a business associate is considered bribery. It's the same charge in politics. Listen to Matt Gaetz make this point eloquently.
I don't get this construct that unless Joe Biden himself received cash, that he somehow wasn't involved in the bribery operation. Joe Biden was doing the bidding of Burisma. He was doing the bidding of Chinese communists, and his family was getting enriched as a consequence. To me, that's a pretty strong case for bribery.
So Matt Gaetz, certainly not one that is shy when it comes to the corporate press. There is one person who is in charge of the committee. His name's James Comer, who was sort of authorized to talk to the press when it comes to this issue, which is obviously a live grenade, right? You want to make sure that the messaging is consistent and stable when it comes to this. James Comer said the Bidens didn't have a legitimate business. Their business was selling access to Joe Biden. The brand is Joe Biden. He communicated with the people right before the closing. He was the closer. Joe Biden is the brand. This is so unbelievably important. Watch.
And the basis of what we've learned is that the Bidens didn't have a legitimate business. Their business was selling access to Joe Biden, the brand. And what we've learned is a little bit about the business model from 3 different associates that said that Joe Biden communicated with the people right before the closing, so he was the closer of the influence peddling scheme, and that in at least 2 cases, one was CEFC, which was one that Hunter Biden was leading, one of the influence peddling schemes that he was leading, and one with Jim Biden, which was the AmeriCorps deal that Politico did a good job writing about. Both times in their scheme, in their pitch to obtain money in their influence peddling scheme, they said Joe Biden was interested in an equity ownership stake, and that Joe Biden might even, if the price is right, be on the board of these 2 entities. So that's what we've learned through these depositions and interviews, and I think it's been very valuable information.
So James Comer on message there. Many people across the internet being like, what? He was like doing this to stop Russian aggression? What the hell are you talking about? Nancy May saying the exact same thing. Hunter Biden is a dishonest cretin.
Hey, how are y'all? We said we weren't going to do this, but since the left came to the microphone in the middle of the deposition, that I'm going to do the same thing this morning. The 2 things I'm going to say this morning so far in the first hour is that Hunter Biden is being defiant and also dishonest. And his testimony, some of it, is in direct conflict with other witnesses. And so the transcripts will be out. I won't go into detail. You'll be able to see it for yourself. But it's no surprise, it's no shock that he is being that way. And in some cases, he doesn't recall. He said that multiple times this morning, which, again, is not a shocker either. But defiant and dishonest would be the way that I would describe his testimony so far in the first hour.
Is he pleading the fifth?
No, he's not done that yet, but I would tell you that his testimony is in direct conflict with other witnesses that so far the Oversight Committee has interviewed.
Which witnesses are they in direct conflict?
You'll read the transcript. I'm not going to go into details because we agreed that we would not do that in the middle of the deposition. So once the transcript is out, I'm happy to talk about it in more detail.
So, ladies and gentlemen, various people, including other reporters in Washington, D.C., saying, difficult for Hunter Biden to claim that he was motivated by countering Russian aggression when he earned millions of dollars from explicitly pro-Russian Chinese companies. Yes, that's exactly right. The Bidens were excited to take as many dollars from the worst regimes on the planet as they possibly could funnel into their little coffers. Speaking of somebody who's coughing a lot, coughing up, well, like a word salad, is the Democrats, who didn't really have anything to say except for Republicans are on a deep-sea fishing expedition. This is what AOC had to say. I thought that AOC was against fishing and harmed the environment and fish. And why would you say that? It's so hurtful.
Ranking Member Raskin. I think the Ranking Member stated it completely. What we just witnessed over the last hour was, I think, a deep-sea fishing expedition, because the Republican case has completely fallen apart over the last several weeks. After it's been exposed that the critical, one of their most key pieces of information was based on a source that was in communication with Russian intelligence, they are now trying to scramble to find anything to substantiate their fairy tale, is what we should call this. But I think more disturbingly, what we are seeing is just a complete and inappropriate expedition into the president's son, and for matters and subjects that are completely unrelated to an impeachment investigation. And I think it is extremely disturbing to see the lack of professionalism, the lack of grounding, and the abuse of public resources and abuse of public power in order to pursue something that truly, whose point at this juncture is very unclear. And with that, I hand it.
AOC talking about the abuse of public resources, representing a place in America that is currently housing criminal aliens and giving them free food and shelter, and allowing them to assault police officers and then freeing them onto the street. So great job, AOC. Great job all around. My favorite, though, ladies and gentlemen, somebody, member of Congress from Dallas, somebody named Jasmine Crockett. Oh, yeah. Doing her Jasmine Crockett-y thing. Here we go. Boom, clap.
I'm telling you that this is a waste of time, and we need to get back to this people's work. I am tired. The Republicans are going to lose the House, and y'all run this back for them when they do. They're going to lose the House because they have lost focus of what our job is, and our job is to take care of the American people, and that's the last thing that they've done.
The American people and the 30 million criminal aliens that Jasmine Crockett and her party have allowed in the country. The Democrats are changing their tune. Never a good thing to see. Hunter now says, I did not involve my father in my business. The goalposts are once again moving. Joe Biden used to say he never spoke with Hunter about his business dealings. They are literally trying to play linguistic games to stay out of jail.
How many times have you ever spoken to your son about his overseas business dealings?
I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealings. I have never discussed with my son or my brother or anyone else anything having to do with their businesses, period. And what I will do is the same thing we did in our administration. There will be an absolute wall between personal and private and the government.
Do you stand by your statement that you did not discuss any of your son's overseas business dealings with him?
Yes, I stand by that statement.
Tom Fitton, one of our favorite legal experts and scholars, saying, the Hunter testimony report, I can tell you there's never been a more powerful case for presidential impeachment as there is against Joe Biden. Ladies and gentlemen, here's what Tom Fitton had to say.
Hey everyone, Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton here. We're outside where Hunter Biden's being deposed. Let's go inside, it's raining.
I'm inside the House office building where Hunter Biden is finally being deposed by impeachment investigators. Better late than never. It's kind of a scandal that took so long. But we all know how the testimony is going to go. He's going to protect his father, pretend he did nothing wrong. But the evidence is overwhelming that there was a transnational racketeering operation that had at its head Joe Biden. And in terms of impeachment, there's never been a more powerful case for impeachment against a president of the United States. So the House should accelerate its investigation, consider bringing Joe in to testify, and you can bet that Judicial Watch will continue to pursue its well over a dozen FOIA lawsuits to get information on this Biden corruption crisis.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be speaking with James Comer about this very, very soon on the show. Tune in for the morning show, and also tune in to sort of our rant on this, because we break it all down, exactly how corrupt this operation was. It is incredibly corrupt. Well done, James Comer. This man has endured quite a bit. We are massive supporters of him and his truth-finding. The truth shall set you free. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. See ya.